I just wanted to go through frappés as requested from the weekend. So I'm just going to keep my arm out of the equation. We spoke about the starting position being as if you've done from fifth position a plie and then kept the working leg fixed and just straighten your supporting leg. So you really need to work on keeping this knee back every time you come back to this position. So when I take my frappé devant, I'm coming just off the floor and then I'm coming back to that same position. Yeah, so forward to just off the floor and coming back. So the frappé part, the strike part, is done with the ball of the foot. Just skimming the floor. If you go too hard, you're just going to jolt through your joints, and just careful not to catch your toes as well. So just work on it slowly. So coming from this position, strike to the forward position and pull back. You don't strike on the way back, just on the way out. Strike and back. Strike and back. Strike and back. Good. When you go to second, it changes. You'll go from the front of the foot, coup de pied devant, to coup de pied derrière with a flexed foot. So on the front, obviously, you've got the outside of your foot in contact with your supporting leg. And when you're at the back, quite obviously, you're going to have the inside of your working foot against the leg. But it's the same principle. It's just coming up with that knee bent, knee kept back, and the ankle flexed. So when you come to the side, you'll go strike out to your second. Make sure you keep that heel forward. Don't aim directly to the side unless you've got completely flat turnout, which I wish I had, but I don't. So you're following the line of your thigh. And from there, the first one, strike, I'm bringing it behind. Strike to the same position, bring it in front. And strike, behind, strike, in front. Now ideally when you take the leg to second, this thigh should, the femur bone should remain still. You'll get, hopefully, if you're doing it right, this muscle's working, but the underneath muscle isn't, so you should get a little bit of a wobble of the muscle underneath as you get that really sharp striking action. But ideally the thigh should keep pretty still and the knees just hinging. Okay, so that's the second. Strike and in. Strike and in. Strike and in. The back's the hardest, simply because there's not a lot of movement as there is going forwards and sideways in the hip joint. In the hip joint going backwards and turn out as we are, there's not a lot of movement that way. So it feels, as we discussed in class, it feels a lot harder. So you can practice facing your bar maybe to start with your coup de pied derrière. So the working foot's behind you. Take it out. So you're really trying to lengthen and pull up through your supporting leg and really try not to let your bottom go out or let your lumbar spine go. So just from here, take that foot out and turned out and just trying to keep everything else nice and upright still, so you're really working hard in the glutes, and come back. Strike and come back. So that's by far the hardest one. The other thing that can happen there to the back is the foot has a tendency to sort of sickle, so you really need to work hard on keeping that. If you're not sure, just stretch it to the front in a nice position and just take it straight through to the back so you know you're in the right place. So that's our singles. So you could do en croix to the front and in, the side and back to the back and in and side and in. Or we could do 3 to the front, 2 and 3 and hold. Then the side to the back, to the front, to the back. Then 3 to the back and back. Keep turning the knee out every time. And then 3, side, 2 and 3. Or if you're doing 4 to the side as we're doing in this block of classes, you need to remember that after your 4 to the front, in order to end up with the foot behind, the first one has to come back to the front. 2 and 3 and 4. But really work on trying to get the quality nice and sharp.